All right, so your friends finally convinced you to give pickleball a try. Whether you've played once and borrowed someone else's equipment or you've yet to hit the courts at all, we're going to guide you through which product you need to get started. Starting with the most important product, the paddle. At Pickleball Warehouse, we carry hundreds of different paddles. It can be a little overwhelming on knowing how to navigate which one is best for your game if you've never played before. The easiest thing to know is that price really dictates quality more than it does player skill. So if you're coming to the game and you only want to spend around $100 or less, there is a wide selection of paddles that are great for you in that range. If you're willing to spend more, just know you're not going to get a product that's harder to use, you're just going to get one that's higher quality. The sport is a little bit pay to play. So if you're unsure how often or frequent you're going to play, a great starting point is a paddle within that under $100 range. These two paddles on the surface look very similar. There's no identifying differences between them. So you might be surprised to find out that this paddle over here costs $250, whereas this one is only $50. The biggest difference between them is going to be the quality of materials used to make them. The $50 paddle is not going to be as durable, it's not going to have as much power or control as a $250 paddle might, but it's still great and it serves a purpose if you're just getting started. It's something to try and you'll likely hone in which qualities you want in your next paddle from here. If you're willing to start at that high price point, just know you're paying for something that's going to last no matter how frequently you play for a good 6 to 12 months, unless you get really into the sport. On our website at Pickleball Warehouse, we do arrange paddles by price so you can select under that $100 range. These are 3 of our best sellers, but we have plenty of options for you within that price range. The next thing you'll need to get started is the ball. So pickleballs will come in a huge variety of options. Almost every brand in the paddle space is going to have a ball they offer. We have here 3 of the most popular sellers we have on our site. This is going to be the Dura Fast 40, often referred to as the Dura Ball, the Franklin X40, often referred to as the X40, and the Selkirk Pro S1. So depending on where you're playing, people usually have a preference between these 3 or maybe a few others. The safest bet, honestly, and what's been the most popular for us is the Franklin X40 ball. So if you're unsure and you just want to get started with something, that Franklin X40 is a great starting point. One thing that can be confusing when it comes to selecting a ball is that we label them for outdoor or indoor play. When we say indoor, this ball is not meant to be played under a roof. It's more referring to the surface that you play on. So if you are playing in a gym at a rec center that has that basketball court, very glossy surface, that is the type of surface an indoor ball is best for. An outdoor court, where it's very grainy like sandpaper, which can have a roof over it, is what the outdoor ball is best for. If you're unsure between the 2, or you might go between them, the safer bet is to play always with an outdoor ball. Moving on to the next thing you will need to get started, a pair of court shoes. So I have here 2 pair of shoes from the same brand. We're pretty familiar with this brand. This shoe here is a running shoe. This one is a court shoe. So just looking at them from afar, it is very hard to tell the differences between them. Most people, when they just get started in the sport, will go out there and wear a pair of trainers or running shoes. We just want to demonstrate that the most important quality of wearing a court shoe when you play is safety. So running shoes are going to have a good amount of cushioning under the forefoot. They're going to obviously feel very comfortable on court. The first thing you notice if you try on a court shoe is that they're pretty hard and rigid. This is pretty intentional. Almost every court shoe we sell is going to have a piece of plastic that starts in the midfoot and wraps around the heel. This is called a heel counter and a shank. And this keeps your foot upright. So when you twist, when you hit the court at different angles, you want the shoe to stay sturdy and you want your leg and ankle to stay upright. If you go to the courts wearing a running shoe, the softness of the outsole and midsole that they offer allows you to twist and can really easily lead to you turning an ankle. So we want to emphasize that a court shoe is very important, not only if you're unsure of getting into the game or committing to it, but if you prioritize safety. Oftentimes people will play in a running shoe until they get injured, and then they'll switch to a court shoe. And we just want to say, get ahead of it. You know, it is an investment. These range in price starting around the $60 mark. This shoe here is $170. When it comes to the difference in price range between these two on the lower end versus the high end, again, you're mostly paying for quality, comfort, and durability at the top compared to those lower end $60 to $70 court shoes. So if you're just getting started in the sport, these are 3 things that I think you will need on your first day. Obviously, you'll need a paddle. Obviously, you will need a ball. You don't want to show up to the courts and be the guy who asks to borrow. A court shoe, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of safety that they offer on the court. and the lack of stability that a running shoe will give you if you're going out there. We have a wide selection of products that can fill in your game in addition to just these 3 categories of products. Check in with us on day 50 and we'll go over which products you need now that you've made that next step. You've moved on from your first paddle, you're ready for your second, you're a little picky now, and we'll have a wide selection of options for you from there. To check out all of these products and more, shop with us at pickleballwarehouse.com.